Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. Today in the Fitness Foundation series, we are going to be diving into what nutrients are, what macronutrients are, people counting their macros or nutrient density within foods, and I'm going to tell you what all that jargon means. And lucky for you, I googled all of these things. I'm kidding, I am very much a qualified nutritionist. However, if you do Google these things, you will find a bunch of crap. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to know about these things, how they pertain to you, and what you may need to be paying attention to in order to make a difference in your own diet. Now, the first thing is macronutrients, calories, anything that is going to be assigned to you by a coach is going to take in a lot of data. When I onboard a nutrition client, they answer like 30-ish questions and they're all long form questions. I learn a lot about them and I change what I prescribe to them for their macronutrient intake or how many calories they eat based on what they tell me in that questionnaire. If you do an online calculator, it is not going to be nearly as accurate, so please take it a little bit more lightly. It is going to give you what is typical for someone with your statistics. However, if you are finding that is not working, I would suggest consulting somebody like a nutrition coach to get an idea of where you should be. The Precision Nutrition Calculator, they do good macros, and I also like the jamessmithpt.com calculator. Those are both good. I'll link those both below. James Smith stuff, he does a really good job, and Precision Nutrition is a great company. They put out a lot of good content. Those would be my two picks if you had to go with a calculator to figure out just about how much you should be eating. Macronutrients are what make up your food. There are three, technically four, macronutrients. We have protein, we have carbs, we have fat, we have alcohol. Then I also tend to prescribe my clients a fiber target. If your nutrition calculator does not have a fiber target, what I recommend is just about 10 to 15 grams per 1,000 calories. So if you're eating 2,000 calories a day, I would recommend somewhere between like that 25 to 30-ish gram per day mark. So the thing about macronutrients is they are directly related to calories. So sometimes people will say, how do I know how many calories I'm eating if I'm counting my macros? Good news is if you are hitting your macros, you are hitting your calories. The bad news is if you are hitting your calories, that doesn't necessarily mean you're hitting your macros. So macronutrients each have a caloric value. So if you were to take a gram of protein or carbohydrate, that would equate to 4 total calories for that single gram. Then if you take a gram of fat, that is going to have 9 calories per gram. If you were to count in any drinking you are doing, obviously we do not prescribe that target because we don't want you to be drinking every day. If you were to partake, alcohol is going to have 7 calories per gram. Then you are assigned your target. I'm going to make up example targets. Please do not follow these. These are absolute nonsense. They're just for simplicity's sake. Say you are assigned 100 grams of carbs, 100 grams of fat, and 100 grams of protein. And say you're prescribed 30 grams of fiber. If you are hitting those, that 100 grams of fat per day is going to be multiplied by 9 calories per gram. There's 100 of them, so that's going to be 900 total calories for your fat intake per day. And again, if you are assigned all of these targets, they will add up to that total caloric intake for your day. Caloric intake for your day is what is going to determine calories in versus calories out. Calories in exceeding calories out means you're going to gain weight, and the opposite means you will lose weight. Now, how do we make sure that we are gaining muscle and losing fat and not the other way around? If you listen closely, I said lose weight, not lose fat. Protein is going to be our main player for keeping us lean, keeping our muscles fed, and recovering us from any training we're doing. It is so essential. It is for your hormones, it's for your brain health. It is key in absorbing other nutrients, and it's going to help keep you full. Carbs are your fastest energy source, and they're the way that you're going to get the most energy the fastest. So if we're lacking energy, taking in carbohydrates is going to have the most immediate effect on how quickly we are able to turn around and use that energy that it provided. Carbohydrates also, if you are hitting that target and protein is lacking, which you will come to find if you do this that most likely your protein is a bit low. Carbohydrates are protein sparing. All that means it's going to help us not lose any muscle, but also recover even if our protein isn't quite on point. It can act very similarly within the body. Fiber is so important for your digestion, but also I really think fiber is important, especially for my female clients. If you have any sort of estrogen imbalance, progesterone things going on, estrogen is going to be affected by fiber by basically bringing it to the correct level. So say you have some excess estrogen floating around, it's basically going to grab onto that, bind to it, and then take it out of your body when it is excreted. So it kind of pushes things along, but it also grabs things that shouldn't be there and pushes them out with it. So fiber is phenomenal. Those are going to be your macronutrients, but we've also heard about micronutrients. Micronutrients are going to be your vitamins, your minerals, things like that. Now, I am likely going to do an entire episode on micronutrients. However, I wanted to touch on it because I think it's important and relevant. Micronutrients are what is going to be referred to when I'm talking about nutrient density. Say you are having having 100 calories of carbohydrate, right? Those are our macronutrients. You have 100 calories of carbohydrate here, and you have 100 calories of carbohydrate here. This one is broccoli, and this one is pasta. Both carbohydrates, however, they're going to be very, very different. This broccoli is going to have some fiber, which is going to be a non-digestible form of carbohydrate. It's also going to have many, many vitamins and minerals that are going to feed your body for that 100 calories. Pasta is not going to be the case. It is going to have 100 calories of carbohydrate, and that's pretty much what you're going to get for it. You're not going to get as many micronutrients out of that serving. So when we talk about choosing nutrient-dense foods or whole foods most of the time, the 80-20 rule, anything like that, the goal there is to get you eating things that are nutrient-dense so that you, by the end of the day, are consuming all the nutrients and the micronutrients that you need. It is very important to have both in your diet. Let me make it clear that everything I eat is not like superfood nutrient dense by any means. However, if most of the things you're eating are not nutrient dense, you may want to start paying a bit more attention, just because being deficient in those things and not having them as part of our daily intake, it can kind of manifest as the things that we as a society have kind of deemed normal. Being tired all the time, that 3 p.m. slump, not being able to focus, things like that. This is also going to be directly related to cravings. So if you are a cravings person, that's something you really struggle with, I would really recommend maybe just peeking over at your micronutrient intake, make sure everything is there, make sure it's all good, and that is not affecting it. Questions about any of this, please comment below. I am more than happy to answer anything you guys have. I cannot do everyone's individual macros. I have clients that pay me that need that time for me to do their individual things. However, if you have more general questions that may help someone else too, please don't hesitate, because I'd love to answer them. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.